conversation on achieving a sustainable Nigerian economy gained momentum as Lafarge Africa Plc hosted stakeholders at the sixth edition of its policy forum, Concrete Ideas. It brought together policymakers, business leaders, and other stakeholders in the ecosystem. In his opening remarks, the CEO of Lafarge Africa Plc, Mr. Khalid El Dokani, believed Nigeria has what it takes to be the leading destination for investments in clean energy.
Our Concrete Ideas journey has been one of collaboration and positive impact. Through Concrete Ideas, Lafarge Africa has over 2 years assembled thought leaders from the public and private sectors to deliberate on policies to promote investment and best practices in the construction and allied sectors. The platform has generated diverse global best practices and perspectives from our esteemed guests, while showcasing the best ideas in transforming them into solutions that could sustainably solve housing, infrastructure, and environmental challenges in Nigeria and other African economies. To capture the deliberation and recommendation from these rich conversations we developed and launched a policy blueprint in collaboration with renowned economist Dr. Ayo Teriba. The blueprint is an analysis of insights and ideas discussed by stakeholders in the construction, infrastructure, and housing industries during the 5 last Concrete Idea sessions. With this blueprint, Lafarge Africa underscores its commitment to sustainability, which is in alignment with its purpose of building progress for people and the planet. As the world moves towards decarbonization, it's also imperative that Nigeria's ongoing challenges with access to energy is to be addressed. The government is already pushing for increased clean energy to reduce emissions and drive energy transformation that will result in a more friendly environment for the development of clean energy industries. We can make Nigeria a more attractive destination for global energy investment that will allow it to fund its energy transitions toward lower carbon sources of energy, such as wind, water, sun, and biomass. Furthermore, by maximizing recycling in incinerating residual waste, Nigeria will be conforming to the principles of the circular economy. In conclusion, this is a prime period for companies and policymakers to leverage opportunities enhancing clean energy and improving energy efficiency in the country. Fighting climate change and making the transition towards a greener economy requires a concentrated effort by all stakeholders, industries, individuals, and government and policy makers. As leader in sustainability and innovation, Lafarge will continue to collaborate with stakeholders, and we expect that the discussions by a range of industry experts and public officials here present today will provide a clear view on the business of clean energy and summarizes the opportunities, insights, and assisting in the decision-making process and strategies to accelerate access to the clean energy.
The event featured 2 panel sessions which discussed the business of clean energy, opportunities for industries and SMEs, and promoting the circular economy through sustainable waste management.
When we are talking of clean energy, that by year 2030, we are going to have 4,500 megawatts of solar. Then another 4,500 of different renewables. From the ETP, that by 2040, we should be generating 120 plus gigawatts. So that out of this, 75 gigawatts will be from solar, then green hydrogen, 5 gigawatts. So the remaining will still be from the fossil and other energy forms.
When you look at the contribution of Africa to greenhouse gases, we are a quarter of what the world global average is and less than a 15th of what the top emerging economies are doing. So clearly the conversation around decarbonization perhaps needs to sit behind what it is that we need to do as we grow our energy supply.
One of the first problems we have is that we don't even have enough people, developers, investors, everybody that needs to come into this renewable energy opportunity that we have right now. Everyone that is interested needs to come in right now. Every enabling environment that the government needs to provide, the government has provided. So I'm here to kind of talk to investors, to everybody interested in this field, that those $410 billion would exchange hands till 2060. So let's all come in. And I believe it's achievable anyway. But 1.5 gigawatts of solar or renewable energy indeed has to be pumped in every year for us to meet 2030. Thank you.
There's nothing called waste until you decide it's waste, because the end product of everyone is somebody's raw material. When you decide it is waste is when it becomes waste. What are we doing? We are moving away from the linear economy towards circular economy.
We need to have a good understanding about the process, and we need to be deliberate about the process. Lafarge is where they are now because they established GeoCircle for that purpose. All right? And I'm sure the driver of GeoCircle will always want to report back on progress to justify the investment, and that would drive attainment of targets. So if we can put our organizations and challenge them on the ESG, all right, on the targets, it's very, very possible.
Mr. Khalid El-Dokani, Mr. Ola Oresonya, former Commissioner of Environment Ogun State, and the new CEO of Lafarge Africa Plc, Mr. Lulu Alade Akinyemi, spoke on the takeaways from the Concrete Idea 6.0 and the way forward.
Waste is not waste unless you waste it. In circular economy, there is nothing defined as waste. All right? It's all about production cycle. It's all about responsible production. It's all about responsible consumption. And that's exactly what we are finding out here. GeoCircle is deliberate about turning waste into other useful material. And they're making everybody to know that there's an opportunity. Instead of disposing of waste in the dump site, all right, there's an alternative where we can have a thermal destruction. All right, and it's a win-win for everybody. So the take home for us here now is to get the economic model that will ensure that we get it right between the private sector and the public sector.
My key message that in Nigeria, with the huge potential and opportunities we have, we should really not to consider too much the cost rather than considering the lost opportunities. Because the lost opportunities in the country is much, much higher. And whatever cost we're going to put in place, it has its own payback and it has a significant reward on the people, on the government, and on the society as well.
We can't do this alone. It's about collaboration. Okay, whether you are a policymaker or whether you're in the academia and the private. So we'll continue to leverage the collaboration across industry to drive advocacy, to drive the level of awareness, and to drive education. So in the future, I mean, the concrete ideas will focus more on collaborating with other thought leaders, industry leaders across different industries so that we can join hands and scale this up.
The Concrete Ideas revealed that Nigeria needs to tap into the opportunities in clean energy and the circular economy. With the right policy and regulatory mix, this can be the pivot to reduce poverty and unemployment in Nigeria.